Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. Today we will be having a very interesting discussion. By seeing the image itself, I think most of you can easily understand. Today our discussion will be mainly on investment banking. Most of the finance professional, they do have a dream to become an investment banker. But unfortunately they don't have any knowledge. They are not clear about what exactly this investment banking means. So today I try to make an attempt so that I want all of you to familiarize with this particular investment banking. So in this particular video, we try to understand what is investment banking, what are the core functions of investment banking, and what are the skill set required for investment banking, and educational qualification required for investment banking, then the top companies which hire investment bankers, and top global companies as well as top Indian companies which generally hire investment bankers. And we will also be understanding the expected salary package at different levels, as a fresher, at middle level, at senior level. So we will be continuing this particular video. So in this particular, you can see the image, investment banker, very ambitious meets nothing but we generally say where ambition meets the opportunity. So this particular role is considered as a high growth role, high impact and high rewards. Now in the further part of this particular video, we try to understand this particular investment banking. Normally if you see what is investment banking. Now, in simple terms, investment banking is nothing but investment banking is a financial service that helps companies as well as governments and the institutions to raise capital and execute strategic transactions. So, normally, the investment banker aids the company, maybe regarding for raising their funds, mergers and acquisition. There are several functions which are generally provided by this particular investment banker. So basically here we can consider that generally investment bankers are financial problem solvers, and they are considered as a very good deal makers, because as I mentioned, they help the company to raise funds, and they also helps regarding the mergers and acquisitions, and they also helps to raise funds through equity like IPO and FPO, and they also helps the company to list their stocks in the stock market, and they also provide strategic financial advisory services. So here you can see an example. When a company launches an IPO, generally investment bankers handle the valuation part, pricing, nothing but pricing of shares, and investor communication. Now we try to have a detailed discussion. We will deep dive into this particular investment banking role. Now if you see the core functions of investment banking. So in that the core functions, the first one is capital raising. So investment banker will help the company to raise capital by IPO or an FPO, and private equity placements, and they also helps regarding the debt issuance by issuing the bonds and debentures. And if you see the second core function, that is M&A, that is mergers and acquisitions. Now, what is the major role of an investment banker when it comes to the mergers and acquisitions? So first, they help the company to identify the target company, and they also help the company to value that particular target company, and they will do negotiations with the target company, and finally they also helps in deal structure. And next, if you see the another major core function, that is underwriting. So they also help in bank guarantee subscription of securities, and they also takes the risk of unsold shares, and they also helps the company deal structure. They also provide functions like corporate advisory. It means the investment bankers are considered as expertise, nothing but they are considered as experts who helps the company for expansion, how a company can expand, whether it can be like an organic expansion or the acquisition of another company. Example, if a company want to expand their business globally. Now, in that case, investment bankers are the right people to help. Then they also help in restructuring. It can be like external restructuring or internal restructuring, and they also help the company in corporate financial planning. And if you see the next core function, that is valuation and financial modeling, because as most of you might be knowing, the major part of mergers and acquisition is valuation. So investment bankers helps the company in valuation by using this DCF, and they also help. They also provide comparable analysis, and they also provide a service of forecasting. Suppose if a company identified a target company, and if they want to forecast their projected cash flows for the next year, next 5 years, then investment bankers will be providing this particular service to the company. So valuation and financial modeling is considered as one of the core function of investment bank. And they also provide the services like sales and trading. So they also helps in institutional trading, and they also provide market advisory services. And the next important thing, after knowing all these things, now most of you might uh, be very interested to know what are the skills required to become an investment banker, and what are the educational qualifications required to become an investment banker. Now, when it comes to the educational qualification, generally BCom or BBA or BA Economics, and generally MBA Finance is highly preferred. And there are certain professional courses also which allows you to become an expertise in this particular field, like chartered financial analyst, financial risk management, and chartered accountancy. Then the key skills required. Now I divided the skills into three major categories, like technical skills, soft skills, and analytical skills. Now when it comes to the technical skills, it is highly recommended that you need to have advanced Excel skills, mainly in order to build the financial models. And generally these investment banking professionals are expected to know valuation techniques like DCF and multiples, and they are expected to have an expert knowledge on accounting and understanding the financial statements, and they are expected to know, or they expected to have a good knowledge and good what is this good practice of PowerPoint, especially when you are required to prepare some pitch books. Now, in addition to the technical skills, an investment banker also requires soft skills. Now, most of you might be surprised why an investment banker requires soft skills. Because if you remember at the beginning of the video, I clearly mentioned that investment bankers are considered as the deal makers. So definitely it is expected that you need to have a very good soft skills, that is good communication skills, and you need to have an art of storytelling, because always the people who have good storytelling skills are considered as the best deal makers. And you are also expected to have negotiation skills, and you should have skills like attention to detail. So you need to have a skill to observe the minute details also. And in addition to technical and soft skills, you are required to have analytical skills also, like problem solving, data interpretation, and strategic thinking. Now, strategic thinking means you need to have a skill of thinking out of the box. You need to have the capacity of critical thinking. Then when it comes to the job roles and salary in India and globally, normally when it comes to salary as a fresher, because I categorized under three categories: fresher, mid-level, and senior level. Normally, fresher, the main job role for a fresher is financial analyst. So basically, up to 2 years experience, you are considered as a fresher. So what are the key responsibilities as a fresher you will be doing? That is, you will be mainly involved in building the financial models. Then you will be involved in pitch deck preparation, and you will be doing the industry research like competitor analysis, SWOT analysis, pest analysis, and you also required to do some key data analysis, like you might be doing some analysis on KPIs and all these things. And you generally support the senior bankers. So as a fresher for this particular role, how much salary you can expect? So generally the salary range is between 8 lakhs to 20 lakhs per annum. And if you are hired by the top firms, then you might expect a package of around 20 to 40 lakhs also. And globally, the package for freshers for this particular role is around $80,000 to $1,20,000 per annum. But as a fresher, be ready, you are expected to work for very long hours. Then when it comes to the next level, that is middle level. So middle level is nothing but if you have an experience between 5 to 10 years. So generally your key responsibilities will be deal execution, client interaction, team management, where you are required to manage a group of financial analysts, model review and negotiations. And when it comes to the salary, it will be around 25 to 70 lakhs per annum in India. And top investment banking firms might pay a package between 50 lakhs to around 1.2 crores per annum. And globally, the average package for this particular middle level position will be ranging between $1,50,000 to $3 lakhs. So normally, initially you were involved in execution. Now you will be involving in decision making and client management. Next, when it comes to the senior level, if you have an experience of more than 10 years, then the key responsibilities, you are considered as senior level, then the key responsibilities is deal origination, and you will be involved in strategic advisory, client acquisition, high level negotiations. You will be mainly focusing and you will be mainly focusing on revenue generation to the company. And when it comes to the salary part, in India it ranges between 1 crore to around 3 crores, and globally the package can be around $3 lakhs to 1 million also. So the key focus will be on relationships plus generating the revenue model to the company and involving in the financial strategy, building the financial strategy for the company. So relationships plus revenue generation plus strategy. Now the top companies hiring these investment bankers. Normally, globally, there are some top companies like Goldman Sachs, then JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, then Citigroup and Barclays. These are the top companies globally which generally hire the investment bankers. And when it comes to India, there are some companies like Kotak Investment Banking, Axis Capital, ICICI Securities, JM Finance, or nothing but JM Financial and Avendus Capital. So these are some Indian companies. In addition to these, there are more companies which generally prefer to hire the investment bankers. Then the most interesting thing, the most interesting part every investment banker needs to know. Because at the beginning of the video I mentioned that why a company requires investment banker. So there are several scenarios where a company depends on investment banker, but for this particular video I just selected the top 5 scenarios. So here you can see the top 5 scenarios where companies need investment bankers. Normally the scenario 1, if a company want to go for IPO, that is initial public offer. So if a company want to raise funds from the public market, now investment banker helps the company. Now what is the role of investment banker in case of IPO? So they help the company in valuation, and they also help in pricing the shares, at what price the shares need to be issued, and they also help in building the prospectus, that is what drafting the prospectus, and they also help in investor roadshows, and they also help, as I mentioned, the key element will be the valuation part and pricing the shares. Then the scenario 2 is mergers and acquisition, where the company want to acquire another company. Now what is the role of an investment banker in mergers and acquisition? So I try to identify the target company, they do perform evaluations, negotiate the deal and structure acquisitions. Scenario 3, raising debt capital. So when the company needs funds without losing their ownership, now they also help the company to raise the debt capital through bonds and the other borrowed funds. The scenario 4, business restructuring and crisis management. So when the company is in financial distress, so investment banker role is debt restructuring and asset sale strategy, and they also provide turnaround strategy. And when it comes to scenario 5, that is if a company want to expand globally. So in that case, the major role of investment banker is identify the funding sources for this, and they also provide services how organically they can expand the business and how they can expand the business by strategic acquisitions and all these things. Then how investment bankers handle these particular situations, because I just focused on 5 scenarios. Now how an investment banker handle these 5 scenarios? Normally in order to handle these scenarios, the first important thing is you need to understand the client need. The first thing is understanding the client need. For that, you should understand, as an investment banker, you need to have a very clear knowledge about the client business model, the risk environment, and the client objectives. What are the short-term objectives? What are the long-term objectives? Then step 2, after understanding this, then step 2 is financial analysis like valuation, DCF, comparable analysis, and forecasting. Then step 3 is strategy building. Then IPO, debt, and M&A decisions comes under the strategy building. Then comes execution. So where the key task of execution is documentation, negotiation, and regulatory approvals. And the final one is deal closure, like final agreement and the merger acquisitions or fund transfer. So these are the key 5 steps generally an investment banker need to know in order to render the top 5 scenario based services. Now you need to know the reality also. What is the actual picture? Now this investment banking is considered as one of the high paid job role. The salaries are high, as you know, but parallelly high pressure will also be there. You are expected to work for long hours. Then generally to whom this particular investment banking role suits. Now generally this is suitable for highly ambitious individual, and this is also suitable for those who have strong analytical mindset, and this is also suitable for those candidates who excel when a pressure is created on them. It means, in a simple way, what I'm trying to say, who are very good in performing during the pressure. So this is about the reality of investment. So you just a quick summary. Here you can see investment banking is nothing but a capital. Investment banking is equal to capital plus advisory plus deals, core functions, IPO, mergers acquisition, valuation, and debt procurement. Skills, what skills are required? You should be very good in finance, accounting, financial statements. You should have very good skills in advanced Excel, and you should have a very good communication skills. Now career path, you start as an analyst, then you will become an associate or a vice president, then finally you can have a role of MD. So the salary package, as per these 3 stages, as a fresher you will be starting with around on an average 8 lakhs. Then as per your experience, as per your skill, as per your previous performance, you might get a package of more than 5 crores. So